For this 90s Sports Nostalgia video, I want to take a look back at the 1996 Wyoming Cowboys, a ranked team that did not receive an invite to a bowl game, which absolutely sucked, and then their head coach left for Purdue. So to begin, I absolutely love the old WAC conference. By some people, including me, the Western Athletic Conference was also known as a wide open conference due to their high scoring games. But in the WAC conference, I kind of gravitated toward the Wyoming Cowboys, as I've always been intrigued with the flagship sports team in a state that's huge in size, but is the least populated US state. And for some reason, I had several of these Ryan Yarborough rookie cards that made me even more interested in Wyoming Cowboys football. But anyways, in 1996, the Cowboys back then were what I'd say one of the few teams that really aired it out, as this Cowboys team led college football in passing yards in 1996. This team was becoming one of my favorite college football teams ever, with head coach Joe Tiller, quarterback Josh Wallwork, and wide receiver Marcus Harris, who in 1996 set the NCAA record for career receiving yards and was one of my favorite college football players ever. As for the regular season, Wyoming, they cracked the top 25 AP rankings after the 5th game. As the Cowboys, they won the first 9 games of the season. Then they lost a tough one on the road to San Diego State, but then won their last regular season game over Colorado State thanks to a late 4th quarter 96-yard touchdown drive. As a result, Wyoming, with a 10-1 record, won the Pacific Division of the WAC and were set to take on the 6th-ranked BYU Cougars in the first ever WAC championship game, and I was so excited to see the WAC conference have a game on ABC. And I was more excited to see this game than the first ever Big 12 championship game and the SEC championship game on that day. Anyways, I love this Wyoming team. Glad to see them on ABC. But then during the game, the announcers are talking about how important this game was to the Cowboys because a loss could mean no invitation to a bowl game, which didn't seem right to me and seemed too ridiculous that a ranked team could be shut out of the bowl season. What happened was that Wyoming, they wound up losing 28-25 in overtime. There was a questionable call where Wyoming was up by 5 late in the game. Joe Tiller, he elected to take a voluntary safety. Then BYU, they tied the game with a field goal, sending the game into overtime. What transpired was that Wyoming, they finished the season at 10-2, ranked number 22, and did not receive an invitation to a bowl game. So let me start off by saying that there were only 18 bowl games at the time. Now I'd like to mention that back then, it seemed to me that going to bowl game was such a privilege. I kind of saw it as like a holiday or vacation for the players to go to a touristy city and do touristy things as his team, which seemed cool, whether it's going to Hawaii to play in the Aloha Bowl or going to San Diego to play in the Holiday Bowl and so forth, as it seemed like a big deal back then to go to a bowl game, a great reward for the players and the fans. Nowadays, I really don't know what to think about the bowls, don't know what players and fans think about the bowls, as bowl games have been greatly diluted, not the same. Currently, you can go to a bowl game with a losing record to fill all the spots, but back to Wyoming being shut out, as it was Utah, who was in the WAC at the time, finished the regular season at 8-3, got the nod over Wyoming to play in the Copper Bowl, and I love that name so much, and then turned into the Insight.com Bowl, and now I have no idea what it is. But with the Copper Bowl having a tie-in with the WAC, the committee thought Utah would be the better choice rather than Wyoming, for whatever reasons, whether Utah has a larger fan base, whether it could sell more tickets with Utah or projected higher TV ratings, whatever the case was, it just sucked that Wyoming, a team who wasn't on probation, had a great season, deserved a bowl game appearance, and didn't get that chance. And then their head coach Joe Tiller, he left for Purdue. Now there's one more thing I just want to mention that did happen afterward, and that was that changes were made with the WAC's agreement with the Copper Bowl, so someone like Wyoming, who lost in the WAC championship game, wouldn't get shut out of the postseason. But then that didn't last long, as the Western Athletic Conference's ties with the bowl ended after 1997, and then there was a conference split and the Mountain West Conference was formed. So there you have it, the 1996 Wyoming Cowboys, ranked in the top 25 but no bowl game. Thank you so much for your interest in this video. I greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and thank you so much for all the support. And if you're interested, link below if you want to be part of 90 Sports Nostalgia Patreon. Thank you so much.